Hey everyone, welcome to Test Maestro, your ultimate SAT prep guide. In today's video, we are diving into one of the most challenging question types in the digital SAT reading section, that is details questions. Many students struggle with these questions because they often feel like they're wasting time searching through the passage or getting caught up in misleading details. Does this sound familiar? It is one of the most common pitfalls that can hurt your score on test day. But don't worry, we've got the perfect strategy for you to tackle these questions efficiently. In this video, I'll walk you through the exact steps you need to follow to locate and analyze key details in the text and avoid the common traps set by distracted choices. Let's get started. Now, let's understand what this question type is about. Now, this is something that can usually be answered using information from one particular sentence in the text. So you don't require the overall understanding of the text for this question type. All you require is to identify that one location in the text which can give you the exact answer. This is a detailed question, so your answer will also be somewhere in the text in a particular detail. Now, this is something that directs us to the appropriate part of the text. Now, what can direct you to the appropriate part of the text? The question stem. The question stem will tell you what you require to do, and that should guide you to the appropriate part of the text. This is the most crucial step that we have to understand in this particular question type. Now, let us go ahead and see the common question stems or the manner that you can identify that you're dealing with a detailed question type. Let's see the first question stem. According to the text or based on the text, what is true about? Now, when you see the mention of this phrase, according to the text or based on the text, you should know that you're dealing with a detailed question type. Right? Now, what can it ask you for? It can ask you something, some information that is true about X. Right? According to the text, based on the text, Y, something to do with the reasoning of something. According to the text, based on the text, how, something to do with how something is happening. What does the text most strongly suggest about? Now, you can also find this word suggest. This particular word is seen most commonly when you're dealing with a difficult level detailed question type. Right? Now, here they would not mention according to the text or based on the text kind of phrase. They'll simply say suggest about something. Right? Now, this should tell you that you're dealing with a detailed question type. The mention of the phrases according to the text or based on the text and the mention of the word suggest should tell you that you're dealing with a detailed question type. With this, let's go ahead and understand what is the strategy that you need to use in order to attempt this type. It's a 4-step strategy approach. The first step will always be the same, that is read the question stem. You have to know first of all that you're dealing with a detailed question type. Right? Let's say you don't read the question stem, you don't know what this question type that you're dealing with. You'll directly start reading the text, and that reading would be for no purpose. You'll have no purpose of reading the text. In a detailed question type, when you read a text, you are specifically looking for one particular location to answer your question. So it's really important that you read your question stem clearly in order to reach to that right location in the text which can give you the correct option. Now, identify the keywords in the question stem that can direct you to the right location in the text. The question stem can be talking about X, so what you need to do while reading the text is identify that X, where in the text you can find X. The third step is identify the location. Now that you have identified the keywords in the question stem, you can go ahead and identify the location in the text that is discussing the X that's been talked about in the question. Once you have identified the location, go ahead with the option elimination strategy. Go ahead, start eliminating your options, find something wrong, and then eventually get to your correct choice. Let us try and implement these 4 steps. It's easier to know that these are the 4 steps that you need to take up, but the difficult part is implementing these 4 steps. So let us go ahead and take up the first question on detailed question type that is going to be of an easy difficulty level. Alright, so we have the first question now, and this is of an easy difficulty level. The first step is read the question stem. Now, you have a lot to read for this particular question type when it comes to the question stem. You have a lot to read here, a lot to understand before you jump to the text. Make sure you understand the question stem very, very well before you start reading the text, because you need to know, when you're reading the text, you need to know what you're looking for. Correct? Now let's go ahead and read the question stem. According to the text, this tells us that you're dealing with a detailed question type. Let's read ahead. What is one reason Some archaeologists are interested in recovering scents from ancient artifacts. Now, what is this question asking you to identify from the text? Oh, reason, right? A reason for what? A reason as to why some archaeologists are wanting to recover scents from ancient artifacts. What is their purpose of recovering these scents? What do they want to achieve by doing so? Right? What is that one reason that they are interested in recovering these scents? This is what you're looking for. So when I read the question stem, I read it very properly, slowly, to really understand what they're asking for. I rephrased the question in simpler words so that I can retain what the question is, and when I'm reading the text, I can directly identify which sentence is giving me the answer to this question. You can also identify the keywords in this question stem. Keywords can be something like archaeologists, mention of some archaeologists, mention of scents or recovering scents. This should tell you, or even the mention of ancient artifacts. This should tell you that probably this is the location which is going to give me the answer. Now let us go ahead and start reading the text. Scent is tightly interwoven with our daily lives, often evoking significant memories and important social events. Now, what is this sentence telling us? It's basically telling us why scent is important, right? It evokes significant memories and important social events. It's just, the sentence is simply telling me about why scent can be important, or what is scent. Now, I don't get the answer of this reason over here for sure. Why are the archaeologists interested in recovering scents? I still don't know. Let's read ahead. This connection is of growing interest to archaeologists who hope to use it to better understand ancient rituals, trade, social hierarchies, and medicines. Take a pause. Now, this is using the keyword archaeologists. It's also talking about something ancient, and there's a connection that is where the archaeologists are very interested. What is this sentence really talking about? It's telling us that this connection that the scent has with significant memories and important social events is of growing interest to archaeologists. They are very interested in this particular connection, and they hope to use this connection to better understand ancient stuff, ancient rituals, trade, social hierarchies, and medicine. They want to understand more about this, and so they are interested in scent, or understanding more about scent. Now, this is the sentence that is telling me possibly this is the reason, the connection that scent has with significant memories and important social events. This connection is the reason why archaeologists can probably be interested in recovering scents. They want to know more about ancient rituals, trade, social hierarchies, and medicine, ancient stuff. So most probably this is the right location. I kind of already have my location to the answer. Now, even though you got your location, just go ahead reading the text. Although the speed at which odor molecules dissipate makes identifying ancient scents challenging, advancements in biomolecular technology show promise in unlocking ancient aromas from preserved artifacts. Now, this sentence is simply telling me a problem as to how it can be a challenge identifying ancient scents, but this is also giving me a solution to this problem, right? But again, this sentence is not telling me the reason, right? I already saw the reason why archaeologists can be interested in recovering scents in the previous sentence, and this sentence is not focusing on the reason bit. Let's read ahead. Archaeological studies making use of these advancements may provide new insights into past societies. Now, this particular sentence is just reaffirming whatever we read in the second sentence, that this is the reason why archaeologists are more interested in scents, because they want to know about ancient stuff, right? They want to know about past societies. So this is the location which is telling me or giving me the answer very straight away. I have identified the location in the text as well. If you were clear with what the question is asking you to do, it will be very easy for you to identify the location where you get the answer to the question you're looking for. Now, with this understanding, let us go to our options and start eliminating. They are investigating whether people's sense of smell has declined in recent centuries. So this option is focused on people's sense of smell. They are not concerned about people's sense of smell. All they want to do is they want to know more about the ancient society, ritual, trade, blah, blah, blah. And for that reason, they probably want to recover scents. This has nothing to do with the location you identified here. Stick to the location, guys. Now, when it comes to detailed question type, stick to the location that you thought is giving the answer. And if the location is not talking about something like people's sense of smell, just eliminate it, right? This is irrelevant. Let's go to B now. They believe the sense could illuminate important aspects of ancient life. This is exactly what the location is saying, just that they have used different words. These scholars, these archaeologists, they believe that the sense could tell them a lot about the ancient life. And that is the reason why they are interested in recovering sense. It makes very logical sense to pick up choice B as the correct answer. Let's go ahead and try to eliminate the rest of the two options. They think that ancient sense would be enjoyable to people today. Do they care about what can be enjoyable to people today? They don't care about it, right? All they care about is to know more about ancient society or the past societies. They are not concerned with what people enjoy today. It's about what information they can get about the past societies because of these ancient sense, right? So C is out again. This is irrelevant to the location that we picked up. D. They hope to develop new medicines using ancient scent molecules. Now, there was a mention of medicine, but were they trying to develop new medicines or they were trying to understand ancient medicines? They are trying to understand ancient medicines, correct? Very clearly, they want to know more about the ancient medicines. There is no such indication in the text which tells us that why they want to know about the ancient medicine. Do they want to develop new medicines with the help of it? Maybe, possible, but the text is not talking about it. So D is out because again, this is irrelevant. The text is not talking about it. The location is not talking about it. It just doesn't make sense, right? So very clearly, you could eliminate three options because they were simply irrelevant to the location or even to the text, and B is the correct choice. This is how you can go about attempting this particular question type. Now we have taken up the easy difficulty level. The next question is going to be of a medium difficulty level. Alright, so now we have a medium difficulty level question. And look at the question stem. Something changes here. Now we don't have the phrase according to the text or based on the text. Now we have something else. What does the text indicate about the geological formation at mistaken point? So the stem uses the word indicate about this geological formation at this, correct? So what do I understand from this question stem? I understand that when I read the text, I have to look for something called as geological formation at this particular place, mistaken point. And what can I understand about the geological formation at this place from the text? What do I know about it from the text? So when you read the text, pay attention to that particular location which is discussing geological formation at mistaken point. Let us go ahead and read the text now. Paleontologists searching for signs of ancient life have found many fossilized specimens of prehistoric human ancestors. So we are talking about paleontologists, and what are they doing? They're searching for ancient life, and they have found many specimens of prehistoric human ancestors, including several from the P era discovered in a geological formation in M. Kure in Japan. Now this is talking about something else. It's talking about M. Kure in Japan. And what are we looking for? We're looking for geological formation at mistaken point. But what do I understand from this sentence overall? So paleontologists got many fossilized specimens of this particular era in this particular place. Great. Let's read ahead. That's not the location for sure, but let's read ahead. However, to study the emergence of the earliest multicellular organisms to appear on Earth, researchers must turn elsewhere. So, what is the contradictory bit over here? So, the first sentence told me that paleontologists were able to find many fossilized specimens of prehistoric human ancestors in a particular place. But in order to understand the emergence of the earliest multicellular organisms, they have to go somewhere else. Researchers must turn elsewhere, such as to the Ediacaran geological formation at Mistaken Point in Canada. Geological formation, Mistaken Point, I like this location already. So what do I know about this geological formation at Mistaken Point? That this is the place where the paleontologists should go in order to understand the earliest multicellular organisms. They should go there to understand that. Let's read ahead. A UNESCO World Heritage Site, the 146-hectare reserve contains more than 10,000 fossils that together document a critical moment in evolutionary history. Now, this is just the explanation of this particular place, mistaken point, right? What is this place like? There are so many fossils, and that they are very important, right? They're critical. It's a critical moment in evolutionary history. But, anyways, having said that, this is the location that is going to give me the answer. What does this location indicate about the geological formation and mistaken point? That if you want to know about the earliest multicellular organisms, you have to go there. As simple as that, right? Let's go to our options now. A. It holds a greater number of fossils but from a smaller variety of species. Hold on. Now, all I know is that this last sentence told me that this particular place, mistaken point, has 10,000 fossils, right? Okay, it can be that together document a critical moment, that can be a bigger number, but from a smaller variety of species. Where is this information coming from? There is no such information given to us in the text anywhere. Forget about the location that we are sticking to. The text is not even telling us anything about whether these fossils that they found were from a smaller variety of species or from a larger variety of species. So this is out because this is simply irrelevant. I can't identify this particular information about geological formation at mistaken point. All I know for this particular formation at mistaken point is that if you want to know about the emergence of the earliest multicellular organisms, go there. Okay, let's go to B now. It has provided evidence that the earliest human species may have emerged before the P era. Is this location talking about the era that they must have emerged, the earliest human species must have emerged? No, right? We're not talking about when they emerged. It's more about if you want to know about their emergence of the earliest, if you want to know about them, if you want to know more about them, you go to this place. It's not about when, it's about where. So let's look at C. Now again, B is irrelevant. C, it is widely considered by paleontologists to be the most valuable source of information about prehistoric life forms. Now, is this the most valuable resource for prehistoric life forms or not? I don't know. I mean, look at the first sentence. They talked about prehistoric human ancestors. They got a lot of these fossilized specimens from some other location. But this particular place that is in question, that is the mistaken point, geological formation there, this is the place for earliest multicellular organisms. But is this the place for prehistoric life forms? I don't know about that. Is this the place for most valuable source of prehistoric life forms? I don't know about that. Let's stick to what's given to us in the text. It's about the earliest multicellular organisms, not only about the most being about not only about the prehistoric life forms. They found a lot of valuable information even in different location. This M query in Japan when it comes to prehistoric life forms. So this is out. D. It contains specimens from an older time period than those found in the formation in the M query. That's absolutely correct. Like, why do they want to go to this particular location? Because you will find earliest, the emergence, you'll be able to study the emergence of the earliest multicellular organisms here, which means we are talking about the older time period. In comparison to the M query, you will find the fossils present over there to be from an older time period when it is compared to the M query. So this makes complete sense as per this location that we identified, which talks about the geological formation at mistaken point, which is about being the earliest multicellular organisms. If you want to know about this, go there, which means the older time period. It's very simple. If you really understand your question stem well, if you identify your location correctly, if you stick to the location that you have identified, you can very easily eliminate your options, guys. So there you have it. Choice D is a very clear answer for this one. Now the next question is of a higher difficulty level, so let's go ahead and take that one. Alright, so we have a difficult level question now. Let's read the question stem. What does the text most strongly suggest about Sleep No More's use of its performance space? So what do I know from the question stem? So first of all, seeing the word suggest, I know we are dealing with a detailed question type. And what is it asking for? It's asking some information, or what is the text saying about this, about the use of its performance space, how they have used its performance space, the use of its space. With this understanding, let's identify the keywords in the question stem itself. It's the use of performance space. Performance space and use, this is the most crucial two words that we are looking for in the text to identify the location. Let's read the text now. Okay, the most recent iteration of the immersive theater experience, Sleep No More, which premiered in New York City in 2011, transforms its performance space, a 5-story warehouse, into a 1930s era hotel. Now, this is a very simple sentence to understand. Even though it's very huge, it's very simple to understand. Understand the main crux of it. The play uses a large multi-story venue designed to look like a 1930s era hotel. That is it, right? Don't try to get into every detail over here. It is any which way is not talking about the performance space, right? Now let's go ahead and read the next sentence. Audience members who wander through the L venue at their own pace and follow the actors as they play out simultaneous, interweaving narrative loops confront the impossibility of experiencing the production in its entirety. If you feel this sentence is very long and complicated, break it down, right? What is this sentence trying to tell us? It's simply talking about audience members and how they were in that particular place, right? They freely move through the complex space. And because multiple storylines are happening simultaneously, it is impossible for them to experience everything in one go, right? This is what they are talking about. How the audience members were reacting or what were they doing to really understand the whole play. Let's look at the last sentence of this text. The play's refusal of narrative coherence thus hinges on the sense of spatial fragmentation that the venue's immense and intricate layout generates. So it's talking about the play's refusal to do something, and it's talking about it's doing something because of the venue's immense and intricate layout. What's happening over here? Let's try to understand this sentence. It's the most crucial sentence of the whole text. The play doesn't follow a clear, straightforward story on purpose because there's a play's refusal of narrative coherence. They refuse to follow the narrative coherence. Instead, the confusing and broken up story depends on how the huge and complicated design of the space makes the audiences feel. It's about the venue's immense and intricate layout. What is it doing to the experience that audience is going through? The layout of the venue or the building is a key part of why the story feels fragmented or disjointed. This is what the last sentence is saying. And this is what I understand about Sleep No More's use of its performance space. It's deliberately trying to do something, right? Now, with this understanding, let us go ahead and start eliminating our choices. Let's look at the first option. Okay, the choice of a New York City venue likely enabled the play's creators to experiment with the use of theoretical space in a way that venues from earlier productions could not. Now, what is this option talking about? It's focusing on the experimentation with space. But what is the text about? The text doesn't discuss earlier productions, right? Or whether Sleep No More is an improvement over the past venues. We don't know about the earlier productions. It's as simple as that. There's no mention of earlier productions. We only know about Sleep No More. So this is out. Correct? This is out because this is irrelevant to the text. There is no such comparison made. Let's go to B now. Audience members likely find the experience of the play disappointing because they generally cannot make their way through the entire venue. Now, the text does mention that it's impossible to experience the production in its entirety. It doesn't say that this leaves audience members disappointed. What if this entire confusion was intriguing them more, right? What if this was a fascinated kind of a thing for them? So I don't know if they were disappointed or not. The text is not telling me about it. I just know what they experienced, like what they were going through, and what the use of its performance space was trying to do. But if they were disappointed, there was no such negative emotion being stated in the text. So this is out again, because again this is irrelevant. It's as simple as that. Let's go to C now. The production's dependence on a particular performance environment would likely make it difficult to reproduce exactly in a different theatrical space. Now, this option is talking about, it says that the text emphasizes how the fragmented and immense layout of the venue is essential to the experience. Right? It's really important for them. This entire, fragmentation was important for them as an experience for the audience to feel. Meaning, it would be hard to replicate it elsewhere. They did something with this 5-story warehouse. This particular implementation in some other location is going to be very hard. So I like this option because this is the focus of the text. How they use this 5-story warehouse, what experience they wanted the audience to go through, what were they deliberately trying to do. Correct? So this is definitely making sense. Let's go to D now. Audience members who navigate the space according to a recommended itinerary will likely have a better grasp of the play's narrative than audience members who depart from that itinerary. Now, there's no mention in the text of the recommended itinerary. Where is this coming from? Right? Or that some audience members have a better experience than others. It's not about whether they had a better experience or not. It's about what these people, Sleep No More people, are trying to do. What is the impact that they are trying to create in the audience, right? So this is again out because this is irrelevant, and C is the only choice because the whole text is about what the Sleep No More people were trying to create, right? What kind of a performance they were trying to create, what kind of an experience they were trying to give to the audience, right? And all of this is making sense in choice C. Now I understand this is a difficult level question. As soon as you read C, you don't really get this, that this, it has to be the correct option. That's quite a possibility. That is the reason why I emphasize on you eliminating the options first and then coming to your correct option. There was nothing in choice C that we could have eliminated, right? We had better reasons to eliminate A, B, and D, like much stronger reasons to eliminate these 3 options. So this is what you would have been left with ultimately anyways. So this is the reason why C is the correct choice, very clear choice after the elimination of A, B, and D. Alright, that's a wrap on how to conquer detailed questions in the digital SAT reading section. Remember, the key is to always look for the specific part of the text where the information is found and double check the wording of the question to ensure you're focusing on the right details. By practicing this strategy, you will be able to quickly and accurately answer these types of questions, which can save you valuable time on test day. Thank you so much.